Good morning, everyone. So today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about forgiveness, and I wanted to demystify one of the biggest myths that we have when it comes to forgiving people. The reason I'm doing this is because something that happened to me this morning really got me thinking about the whole concept of forgiveness in general. So just to share a generic version of the story, I had an acquaintance, a classmate back in school, who I had some misunderstanding, and we got into a fight, more like a Cold War. And back then I was not very mature in terms of my emotional maturity. I wasn't very emotionally mature, and I got feeling, I got all these negative feelings of hatred, and I don't know. It was just a very bad place for me emotionally. And this morning, as I woke up and I was done with my morning rituals, I happened to look at my phone and I got a text from this person. And the person was saying that they were really sorry for whatever it is that they did, and they really hope that we can be friends again. Reading that, for a minute, I didn't even remember what that person was talking about. I had so much difficulty trying to place it because it's been so many years since I left school now, and we have never spoken. I think I just heard like 2 times from that person after I left school. So it was really, really unusual for that message to have come on my phone this morning. And as I read that message, I was like, what are you talking about? It took me like about 5 to 7 minutes to figure out what the person was referring to, and then I had like, oh my god. And then I had this full-blown aha moment where I was like, I have forgiven you a long time ago. And as I texted that back, I felt such a sense of peace, a sense of liberation, if you will. Because in that moment, I realized what it feels like to forgive. And it was not even at that moment that I forgave that person. I had forgiven that person a long time ago. Hence, there was nothing holding me back. This is something that I want you guys to realize. There are 2 things that I want to convey through this story. Number 1, being in a place of aggression, being in a place of a victim, someone who expects an apology, that's a very, very negative and bad place to be, because it's an extremely angry place. The place of a victim is the angriest place there is. Because then your happiness and your satisfaction, your sense of peace is dependent on someone else, on someone else's action, whether they apologize or not. But when you let go, when you forgive them, you are free. You don't have to worry about anything, because your happiness is no longer dependent on what they do or say. And then it becomes so much more easier to accept them the way they are, with all their flaws. Because if you come to think of it, there are no flaws. It's just something that's different from you, and that's what makes them unique. If we all were same, and if we all were always, sunshiny, happy, it just wouldn't make any sense. It just wouldn't be as interesting as it can be. Another thing that I want to convey through this story is that it takes courage. It takes an immense amount of courage to go and apologize to people, to accept that you have wronged them. So there are 2 things that I want you guys to take away from this. The first one being that you don't need someone to apologize to you in order for you to forgive them. Because forgiveness is not a favor to them, but a favor to yourself, the favor to your growth. And the second thing that I want you guys to take away is that if you have wronged someone, if you feel like what you did to someone was unfair, just go ahead and apologize. You will feel so much better when you do. Because when you go ahead and apologize to someone for something that you did, you need to forgive yourself first. So if you can muster the courage up to go up to someone and say that you're sorry, that means you have forgiven yourself, and forgiving ourselves is so important if we are to grow. We are to progress in life. we are going to have to stop clinging on to our past mistakes, and the way to let them go is to go ahead and apologize for what you did. Yes, it'll be nerve-wracking. Of course it will be nerve-wracking. Who wants to give up on their ego and go apologize to someone, right? But trust me, that is the best thing you can do for yourself, is to go ahead and apologize. So the key takeaways for today are, number one, you don't need someone to apologize to you for you to forgive them. Just let it go. Just let it go. And the second thing is, if you feel like you want to give up on your past mistakes, the best way to get rid of them is to go ahead and apologize to people. That'll make you feel better, and the person you're apologizing to feel better as well. I hope that helped you guys, and I hope you have an empowering day ahead.